Hello guys, this is going to be my staking guide video. It's going to teach you how to stake, where you need to go, what you should do, the types of staking, and common scams. Okay, so we'll get straight into it. There's boxing, Mage boxing, and Rapier boxing. Rapier boxing is where you just use a rapier and you normally use the accurate attack equal to punch. Boxing is just where you normally use punch, or you can do something called switching, which is where you switch between block and punch, and that definitely gives you the advantage, but it's a bit time consuming and effort. There'll be a link on this video to my guide there, an annotation somewhere. Then Mage boxing is where you use magic spells, like Fire Surge. I can't remember which ones they are, but it's quite popular. And then you have people over here saying like whip to DDS and stuff like that, and whip. But I don't think they're very trustworthy, because they can really easily whip out like a chaotic longsword, a chaotic rapier or longsword, or CLS. No, that is a chaotic longsword. A Vesta longsword, sorry. Okay, so we're in world 54, Deul Arena. That's the main staking world. There aren't that many people here at the moment because it's 11 o'clock in the morning, and okay, so there are different positions you might have. In there is people that aren't really maxed. Out here is mainly people that are maxed, and if there are people out here that aren't maxed, then they're stupid because they're just going to lose all their money. And you should be maxed when you stake, because if you're not, then you're just wasting your money basically, unless you get lucky. There's no point boxing or staking or whatever unless you're maxed in the box that you're doing. Here you're going to have people that are boxing between 100 and 500k. For some reason there are some idiots that don't know where they should be doing it. Over here is like 1 mil to 10 mil ish. And over here it's 10 mil and above, so that's like 100 mil, 300 mil. Party hat sets and all that. Over here is Mage boxing. They might move back over there soon, because that's where they used to be before that boulder for the citadels came. And over here is Rapier boxing. I think that just about covers all of that, so I'm going to go into the common scams now. You should watch this video if you are going to stake, because it's really easy to get scammed. I've done it. I think everyone's done it, especially when they start off staking. Okay, let's get into that. Okay, so the first scam we've got here is very common, and it's one where you enable summoning. So you right click challenge, you put the money in that they asked for, and they're going to enable summoning, and they're not going to enable no movement. So it's going to look like that. They're going to put their money in, and the only way you can really get caught out on these scams is if you don't look. And later on in the video I'm going to show you the method that I use, so I literally can never get scammed. And it makes it blatantly obvious when people do attempt to scam. Okay, so he's called his familiar in here, which is now attacking me as well, and I'm obviously going to lose. Alright, so the next scam that we're going to display is one way that I mentioned earlier, and it's where they say they want to do a whip fight, but they end up using a chaotic longsword, or a chaotic rapier, sorry, or a Vesta longsword or something like that. And this is relatively common as well, and it's why most people now stay away from whip boxing. It used to be really popular back in 2006, 2005, but there are now lots of different weapons that you can have in that spot that are much more powerful. And if you want to do one item boxing like this, like a weapon, you should do Rapier boxing, because that's basically the same but it just finishes faster. Okay, the next one we're going to have is where they try to put a shield on. And this is also relatively common. I'd say it's number 3, maybe at the top 4. It's really obvious when you look for it, but when you're in a rush and you just want to get into a stake and everyone's talking around you and shouting out, it can be quite difficult to realise that they've actually put it on. And sometimes they make some other things flash as well, so you don't really notice it's happened. But if you try and look for it, then it is quite obvious. It's not impossible to beat them when they have a shield, or a defender in this case, but it's definitely a huge advantage to them. Something you can do to combat it is to bring your own defender or shield or whatever. Okay, the next scam is a money scam, where they don't actually put in the right amount of money. And this is one that I got caught out on a couple of days ago, because I think they did something else. I went through the stake once and declined it, and I thought it was just too full or something, because it's a common error you get. So I just did it again quickly. I only flicked my eyes at the cash and just saw that there was a 100 in there or something. I didn't look at it properly, and then I checked the rules a few times and I just went straight into the stake. Okay, so even if they do put 10k in, you can still win it, but if you do win it, then you don't get as much as you do, and that can mess up like the pattern that you're trying to stake in. And if you don't understand what a pattern means, then that's just something more experienced stakers might use, but yeah. Basically, you don't want it to happen. Okay, this shows you how I combat people that try to scam you, and I always do this no matter whether they're scamming or not. You'll see what I mean. So you send them to your request, put the money in, and you'll see in a second that he tries to turn his shield on like that, which is a common one. You can't really notice it that easily. You can now, but if it all went quickly, and you just spam on previous options like a dozen times or something, and then if they make any changes, it will be really noticeable in the bar at the bottom or in the chat box. Okay, so now we know how to get into a stake. I'm going to put all those things I've told you into practice, and I'm going to show you. So you just type out what you're doing. In this case it's just boxing, so you type box, then the amount you're doing, which is 100k for me at this time, and then part of your name. And because my name is Slidgemaster, I just say the first part of it. If you're like that retard over there and you just say box 7 mil, only very rarely will he be standing on his own, because it's really empty at the moment, the arena. I don't know why. It's probably because his Citadels just came out. But he's gonna find it quite hard to get into a stake sometimes. Alright, I think I'm gonna speed this up now. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to put in my 100k. My dogs are barking because someone rang the doorbell. So I spam clicked that a few times. I checked his amount of money. And then you'll almost always lag when you go into a stake, so if you just spam click on them, then that should be fine. Sometimes you won't know which guy you're actually staking when you come into the arena if you don't know what clothes they're wearing, so sometimes it's best not to spam click on anyone, because then you might be at a huge disadvantage because you just clicked on someone and you missed like 5 hits. And you want to make sure you have auto retaliate on. Alright, staking's often quite close like this. Sometimes it's really not close at all. You want to make sure that you can pay for what you stake, so if you lose it, then that doesn't really matter. I've only got 5 500k I started with, I just try and double it to a mil, and then I bank it again. But if I lose 500k, I really couldn't care less. You know, it's just a bit of fun that I do, like staking. And I often make money anyway, so that covers the losses. Okay, I haven't definitely won yet, because sometimes you'll just stop hitting and they'll start hitting. Sometimes even if you have half health, and I'm like me now, then you can still lose. It's all really, really random, and you know, sometimes you're going to be thinking, oh, what the hell, Jagex, how did you even manage that? You've got such a screwed up game. But other times it'll be close, and you know, it'll be exciting to watch. Okay, so if you learned anything from this video, please like it, and if you want to see more videos like this from me, then subscribe. Okay, thanks.